How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions where you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Did you hear about the hungry clock? It went back 4 seconds, right? Went back 4 seconds, eating. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, which ended up having a green day inside of the market. So of course, I got to give you guys an update. So before we get started, let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and what we want to see from OCGN as this week continues to progress. And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. This is key. We've been seeing some updates when it comes to the institutional ownership, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. Were there any large-scale orders going in for OCGN today? I feel this is very key because we want to know where institutions getting involved with the trading. And then afterwards, when that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $6.85, being up 2.09%. On the low, it tested $6.68, and then on the high, testing $7.02. So it was great seeing a strong day from OCGN due to the fact we did have a mixed market. When we take a look at the volume on the day, it traded at 8.95 million shares. And as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it's at 11.475 million. So even though we did have below average volume, we saw OCGN did well, like I was saying previously. Now, when we take a look at our chart, we're using the 1-year daily chart. We can look down below, see the RSI is right around 45.37. So technically, it is in the oversold territory, but it's still fairly close to the middle as well. And as far as how we finished, this is good. I wanted to see OCGN, and there's still a lot of time for this week to come back to reclaim the 21-day EMA here at a $7.11. We did see some resistance at the $7 level today, which is of no surprise because, of course, this is a psychological area. There's going to be many who are going to be taking profits. There's going to be selling pressure and so forth. But for the most part, we finished right at $6.85. So this is near an area of support where we've seen in the past right here around the $6.70. So finishing in this range is actually good news. We still have strength above the 200-day. We are below the 100-day. So even if we decide to consolidate in this area due to the fact that, hey, we have the market acting the way that it's been acting, then I think, you know what, this is actually really good being around $6.85. So what I'm going to look forward to as far as going into tomorrow, I want to see a retest going into the 7s, and hopefully we can reclaim that 21-day EMA and get above a $7.11 and look forward to seeing a strong move from OCGN. So let's be patient, see what happens. So we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership for OCGN. Now, if we scroll down the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here for today, August the 2nd, we have some institutional activity here. So we have TCI Wealth Advisors going in with 331 shares. We have New York State Common Retirement Fund going in with 158,200 shares. We also have Allworth Financial LP going in with just over 1,300 shares, and as well as the Arizona State Retirement System going in with 51,128 shares as well. So with all of that said, we have I'm going to say this again. We have two institutions that are retirement funds. They're managing retirement money. Why would they be investing in OCGN if they do not see a potential return on their investment? Now, let's move on and take a look at the short interest information here. So as we take a look at the short interest information, you can see the short shares availability. It is at 150 50,000 updated 1 minute ago. And as far as for the short ball free rate, it is at 9.06%. As we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, these are the numbers that we went over in the previous video. So of course, we still continue to have a lot of short squeeze potential in OCGN, and it was great seeing that we were able to finish green on the day. Of course, I want to see some continued strength as far as this week progresses, so let's be patient and see what happens. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow we have 10,801, and then on the outflow we have 13,343. So on the inflow side we have 0 on the large, 7,001 on the medium, and also 3,800 on the small. For the outflow side, on the large we have 204, and on the medium we have 8,620, and on the small we have 4,519. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for the past 5 trading days, they've all been outflow days except for July the 28th when we had an inflow day of 414.15, and of course for today the outflow of 204.21. So we definitely did have a lot of institutions selling out of OCGN shares, but one thing to understand, we still had some inflow, so due to the fact that did have an impact in regards to the overall stock. But do keep in mind, if there are many who are also holding shares as well, and we do have some buying going on alongside with the selling, then we could see some stabilization in the stock price, and in some cases see some appreciation, which is what we actually had a chance to see today. Do keep in mind, towards the end of the day inside of the market, there is a lot of selling pressure overall in general, so I wouldn't be too surprised if that had something to do with the tremendous amount of outflow we ended up seeing. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how well it progresses through the week. Part of the reasons being is when we went on Fintel taking a look at the institutional ownership, we see it still has short squeeze potential. I can't wait to get the updated numbers later on today. And then on top of that, as far as institutions who are loading up, we are seeing 2 firms that represent a retirement fund. So if they do not believe that they can get a return on their investment and are going to be throwing retirement money at OCGN, then it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So they do believe and they have some sort of conviction to be purchasing shares. And that's something also to be aware of, and I feel like does signal something that is bullish. And then secondly, on top of the order flow, yes, we saw a big time outflow overall for the entire day, but we were still green. So that means many are still holding their position, and also there were many who were buying up those shares, that many who were selling, even though this was happening on the institutional side. So it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of this week progresses. It's going to be very dependent on the market conditions, so that's something to keep an eye on. Also, we already see, as far as for the Delta variant is concerned, we're seeing mass mandates that are actually coming up. We know the Delta variant is a big time issue, but on the plus side, we also know that Covaxin is very effective against it and is also effective against the Delta Plus. We've seen headlines about that as well. So taking everything into consideration, now what we need to wait on is who in regards to the EUL. I think this will add a lot more legitimacy for Covaxin, and of course, we're not going to be getting that update until the 2nd week of August. But for the most part, I am satisfied with the performance we saw with OCGN today. We see that it is showing some strength during these volatile times. Now we just need to see if it actually continues. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.